Hello everyone and welcome to another video of my channel Smart Everyday, and in this video we will learn about the respiratory system. So in the previous video we had learned about the digestive system. Please go and watch that video because the digestive system, respiratory system and the circulatory system are all interconnected. So please go and watch that video and don't miss out any points. So in this video we will learn about the respiratory system. So it is like medium easy, it's not even very easy, it's not even very tough, but I will make it easy for you all. So now let's start, but before starting don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Now let's start. So let's just summarize of what we did in the previous video. So in the previous video we had seen about the digestive system. So we had seen what is digestive system. So it is a system in which the organs involved in it, they take in food and liquids and break them down into simpler substances that the body can understand, and it can use for energy, growth and tissue repair. And we had seen the importance of digestion. So it is very important because your body needs energy from the food and liquids that we eat to properly stay healthy. And if digestive system shuts down, you may get prone to many diseases. Next, we saw the process in providing our body with nutrition. So first is food is taken into the mouth, then it is broken down and digested so that it makes it small enough to pass through the digestive system into the bloodstream or the blood capillaries. Next, the dissolved nutrients obtained from the food are carried by the bloodstream to all the cells of our body, and then the waste material that couldn't be absorbed into blood, it is thrown out from the body. Next, I introduced to you all what is alimentary canal and digestive glands. So mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine and anus are a part of alimentary canal, and salivary glands, liver and pancreas are part of the digestive glands. So this was just a summary of the last video. Now let's move to the topic. That is the respiratory system. So the points covered in this video are: what is respiration and breathing, why do we respire, organs of respiratory system, then we will briefly understand the parts of respiratory tract and respiratory organ. So now let's move to the first topic, that is what is respiration and breathing. So you may think respiration and breathing are both same, but no. So breathing, it is an exchange of gases with the atmospheric air. It is a physical process. It is a physical process wherein oxygen rich air is taken into the lungs and the carbon dioxide rich air is thrown out of the lungs. So in breathing, it is an exchange of gases with the atmospheric air, and it is a physical process. Okay, so this is important. It's a physical process wherein oxygen rich air is taken into the lungs and the carbon dioxide rich air is thrown out of the lungs. So here many people say wrong or even write wrong, because they say wherein oxygen is taken into the lungs. So pure oxygen is not taken, oxygen rich air is taken into the lungs, and carbon dioxide rich air is thrown out of the lungs. So next, respiration. In respiration, the organic food glucose, that is the main fuel for the body, is chemically, so it is a chemical process, is chemically broken down in the cells with the presence of oxygen to release energy. Respiration occurs in cells, while in breathing only lungs and nostrils are involved. So now let's move to the next topic, that is why do we respire. So as we fill petrol in the car, the petrol burns and gives energy to the car to run. Likewise, our body also requires fuel to produce energy. The food glucose is the fuel for the body. So glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen to produce energy when we respire. The different activities of our body, like running, playing, beating of heart, require energy, and each body cell needs energy to perform daily life activities. So even beating of heart requires energy, so it is very important. So now let's move to the next topic, that is the organs of the respiratory system. So let me introduce to you all the organs of the respiratory system. So respiratory system is divided into respiratory tract and respiratory organ. So in respiratory tract, nostrils, nasal passage, pharynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles and alveoli are involved, are a part of respiratory tract. And lungs is involved in respiratory organ. So it is the main respiratory organ. Now let us briefly understand all the parts of respiratory tract and lungs. So now let us briefly understand the respiratory tract, the parts of respiratory tract and respiratory organ. So first, this is all respiratory tract. First is nose and nasal passage. So the air enters through the two openings of the nose called the nostrils. The membrane lining the nasal cavity secretes sticky fluid mucus which traps particles like dust, dirt, germs and pollen. This weight protects the lungs. Nasal passages are even richly supplied with blood vessels that warm the incoming air. Hence, in the nasal passages, the air gets filtered, warmed and moistened. So even elders say that we should always breathe through nose, not through mouth, because in mouth there is nothing filtering device like mucus that it should filter all the dust and germ that is in the air. Next is pharynx. So clean, moist and warm air passes through the pharynx. It is a white chamber in the upper part of the throat. It forms a common passage both for air and food. The opening of the trachea, larynx. So trachea is the windpipe and its starting point is the larynx. So what is larynx? We'll learn over here. Is covered with a flap called epiglottis. So when we swallow food, epiglottis drops over the opening of trachea, larynx. So it prevents the entry of food and water into the windpipe. So now we will ask, what is larynx? So larynx is the uppermost part of the trachea or the windpipe, that is the voice box. So it is the voice box. So it lies between pharynx and trachea. It is responsible for producing sounds. So this is the most important function of larynx, producing sounds. So when the air moves through larynx, vocal cords present in them vibrate and they produce sound. Like the strings of guitar, they vibrate and they produce sound from which we can speak. Then the trachea or windpipe. So the air from pharynx reaches the lungs through a long tube in the middle of the chest called trachea or windpipe. So this is the trachea, the uppermost part of trachea, larynx. This is larynx. Next is bronchus. So when the trachea reaches the chest at its lower end, it gets divided into two branches and enters the lungs on each side. These branches are called bronchi. So this over here is bronchi, even over here the fat one. So when it gets divided into two, it is bronchi. And inside the lungs, these bronchi subdivides again and again, forming thousands of fine branches called bronchioles. These fine branches are called bronchioles. So next we will talk of alveoli. So the fine branches, so if you see over here the fine branches, if you zoom in, actually you can see some fat thing at the end. So that is the alveoli. So these fine branches end in clusters of thin-walled tiny balloon-like sacs called alveoli. The surface of these alveoli are covered with a network of blood capillaries. So when we breathe in, these alveoli are filled with fresh air, rich oxygen air. So oxygen from these alveoli enter the blood capillaries and carbon dioxide produced during respiration diffuse into the alveoli. So approximately, like literally there are 7 50 million alveoli in the lungs, covering a total surface area of about 100 square meters. Think guys, 100 square meters is so big, and that also in our such a small lung. So it's not actually small, it's very big. So now let's move to the main respiratory organ, lungs. So now let us talk about the very important organ in respiration, lungs. So they are a pair of highly elastic spongy bag-like structures that are enclosed in an airtight thoracic cavity in the chest, which is formed of backbone. So as you can see over here, the backbone, and a rib cage consisting of ribs and sternum. So don't get into detail of what is rib. Rib we know, but don't get into detail of what is sternum. So then a large muscular diaphragm, a large muscular muscle. Over here, if you can see this, 2 minutes. So as you can see this over here, this is the diaphragm. So the diaphragm forms its floor. This is the floor. They are covered by a pair of membranes called pleura. So please don't get into detail. We will get into detail, but in the further videos. So guys, that's all for this video. I hope you all like this video, and thanks for watching everyone, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. We'll meet in the next video with more information of respiratory system. So I hope you all liked the video. So bye guys, we'll meet in the next video with more information. Bye.